Hello everyone! We are back again with more Great Ace Attorney. We're going to be cross-examining some new peoples. The third case is already crazy underway. It's gonna be a good time. Hope you guys are ready for it. It's gonna be amazing. So let's begin. Here's Gina here. Hello Gina. And she clearly loved every minute of it. Well, here we go, guys. Who's the murderer of this case? Maybe we'll see today, huh? There were 3 balloons flying near the public experimentation stage when the incident occurred. 2 of these witnesses were in one such balloon at the time and saw events unfold from the skies above. You make it sound like they were in the clouds. It was only an altitude of circa 60 feet, very low. Well, you can't see nothing if you fly too high, can ya? 60 feet. About 18 meters then. Thank you for your introductions. Now you will give your formal testimony for the court. Hey Manem, it's you. How you doing today? Welcome to the stream. Kindly describe exactly what you witnessed, especially those of you who had a vantage point above the stage. Hope you're ready for some more of this crazy game. It was incident terrible. I am only grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second another bang in the sky beside us. Good to see you again in the game. Yeah, I'm glad to see you too. And I'm glad the game is glad to see you. And from amidst the smoke, a cage appeared out of nowhere. The cage, it fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower. Hey Zerman, what's up? You're not in the first minute this time, but you're in the first 3 minutes, which is just as good. You were talking to me? Yep, in the weird voice. I sure was. A most extraordinary collective account, I must say. How have you been today, Zerman? It's good to see ya. Could I just clarify something? There's a detail in the witness's testimony that I've not heard any mention of until now. Specifically, that there were 2 explosions? You're first, Manem, woo! More precisely, 2 explosions in 2 separate places, yes. When the demonstration began, the balloon carrying 2 witnesses was around here. There were other balloons in the air nearby at the time, carrying other passengers as well, to be clear. Bang. Then, as power was supplied to the machine for the demonstration, the first explosion occurred. The so-called birdcage that contained the victim disappeared from the stage. The moment later, the second explosion occurred directly adjacent to the balloon carrying the witnesses. Hey, Bleach fan! You're just in time for Ace Attorneys. How you doing today? It's good to see yous. The birdcage appeared on the site of the explosion, subsequently to plummet down into the crystal tower. I was very surprised. Suddenly a cage appeared before my eyes with a person inside. The blast was so hot, but I didn't want to miss a thing, so I kept my eyes wide. Why is he wearing a mask? And did he get a head injury? I still have lots of money. Hey, Captain Chips. Wah wah wee wah. That's what I say. How you doing today? Tomorrow's your first exam. I wish you luck, Bleach Van. You're gonna do it. You're gonna pass it. No problem. But still study harder, alright? Precisely, who is this curious infant? I'm told he is a young noble of Bohemian royalty. Apparently, he disguised himself in order to steal unnoticed into the great exhibition. Yeah, I am here in London on a sightseeing trip with my elementary school. We will have the benefit of a child's point of view in the testimony. Do we really need that? Then I remove my mask. This is what I look like. Ah, yes, I see. A delightful face, I'm sure. Yeah, everybody says so. Great disguise, then. The point is, the testimony of these witnesses further substantiate the facts for the court. Namely, that despite ending in an explosion, instantaneous kinesis was successfully demonstrated, and furthermore that until the arrival of the police, no one approached the Crystal Tower, where the victim fell. Therefore, only the accused, who was with Mr. Asman on the stage, could possibly have committed the murder. Yes, thank you, counsel. The prosecution's views on the matter are quite clear. So, the defense's cross-examination now, please? Yes, my lord. And here we go, guys. Captain Chips, if you could have the guide ready, just in case I get stuck, by the way. 'Cause you know it's gonna happen. It was an incident, terrible. I'm solely grateful that my balloons were not damaged. There were 3 balloons flying above the experimentation stage at the time, I understand. You're watching Naruto Shippuden? Ooh, nice. I'm watching the original Naruto right now. The first of the Narutos. See, all 3 of them, my bellissimi bambini. They are very popular, signor. Some people will pay £10 for one ride. £10? That's more than my annual stipend. 20 pounds a month, that is my pocket change. Royals have all the luck. I got up there for free, I did. Played the old I work for Majesty's Police card, you know? Detectives have all the luck. Episode 221. Ooh, nice. If they're so popular, why would you only be operating such a small number of balloons, though? Because, if I have too many things in the skies, they could crash into each other. The operators for the balloons were decided by lots, with each operator manning a particular area. See, and the zone above public experimentation stage is the most profitable. The other impresarios, they hate me. Thank you, witness. I think the court has a clear picture of the arrangements for balloon rides and the exhibition. Have you completed Shippuden? Nope. Like I said, I'm watching the original Bleach first, or the original Naruto. Soon I'll be watching Bleach. Perhaps we could have a clear more about what you actually witnessed of the incident. Right, I can fill you in there, my lord. There's this huge bang from the stage, and then the next second, another bang in the sky beside us. Hold it! Beside us. So you actually saw the accident happen from up in the air. Yep, isn't it amazing what a detective gets to do, eh? I'm telling ya, Odo, being a lawyer's a mug's game. You should join the force and we can go flying together. You know me so well. Yes, well, anyway, could you tell us exactly what you saw, do you think? Shonen Jump? I know, Shonen Jump. That was a magazine back in the day. Or like a comic book thing. Everything. We saw everything because we were up above it all. That dodgy cove climbing into the cage and that dodgy professor pulling all them levers. And that's when it happened. That's when there was that massive bang and the cage disappeared, just like that. You were describing the moment the subject's body was decomposed by the electricity, I believe. I didn't know what to make of it, but then there was another bang right in me ear. I looked around and there was a huge great fireball right next to us in the sky, and there was nothing there before. What was that?
Excuse me.
Master Gotts, does your memory of the day differ? Main teacher at elementary school said that when you meet someone for the first time, you should always use their full name. Ah, yes. What was it again? Wilhelm Gottfried Sigismund Ormstein. Just the 4 names, then. The point is, do you have something to say? Something to add in response to Detective Gina Lestrade's last remark, perhaps? I recommend leave after episode 135 after the original's filler, and it will make you drop Naruto. Well, sadly, with the collection I have all the episodes. And I have a certain condition, Bleach fan. Captain Chips can back me up on this. Where, if an anime gets in my eyes, I have to watch all of it. All of it. All or nothing. Oi, get it right, Odo. It's Inspector Lestrade. Why does everyone have a problem with how I address them at the moment? That is not what I saw. Oh? There was a second explosion and it was right beside our balloon, that is true. But I'm sure. Which is what I said in it. 1 minute there was nothing there and the next a massive explosion. My teacher at elementary school said that when someone else is speaking, if you are rude enough to interrupt, you will have the most awful life imaginable. Are all Bohemians brought up to be so full of joy? I'm before episode 100. I think I'm in the 80s right now. Just before the second explosion happened next to our balloon, I clearly witnessed a green balloon flying in the sky. A green balloon? You what? I never saw nothing like that. Well, I did. I saw it, and you can't say I did. I will complain to the council. I will cry and scream. My testimony is the truth. I am Bohemian Prince. You cannot say it's a lie. That is not allowed. Tisk, playing the bleeding royalty card, are you? Typical. Says the orphan who likes to remind people she works for Her Majesty's Police. In that case, young man, I must ask you to amend your formal testimony. In the interest of cordial national relations between Great Britain and Bohemia. Can balloons explode by hitting each other? Maybe. It was not the sky that exploded. It was a green balloon that was next to ours at the time. Is there anything in my inventory that looks like a green balloon? Let's take a look. Green cloth? Maybe? Maybe this?
Objection!
The defense would have to object to that last statement, my lord. Alright. Is there anything else that resembles a green balloon in my inventory? Because I don't see it. It's obviously not this. Photograph of the victim. Nothing green here. Nothing green here. And nothing green there. So, yeah.
Hold it!
A green balloon, you say? Are you sure about that? Of course I am sure. I am a proud Bohemian Prince. All these questions are making me boring. Yep. What were we looking for? A green balloon? We're looking for the next... the next topic for this thing. I think you mean bored. Ach, English is very annoying. The language of my countrymen is far superior. Ragazzo, it is very wrong to lie. Lie? Flying balloons never explode. For the same reason the planets never explode. It is logical. Please tell me that doesn't mean logical. If you insult me, you insult all of Bohemia. That would be a hint. His testimony changed, the boys there. His testimony changed. Now we're just looking for the right plot now. Madai. I will have the army come and shoot all of your stupid balloons out of the sky. All of them. Here you are. Here you are. Here you are, Your Highness. If only all international incidents were so easily resolved. Now that peaceful relations have been restored here in the courtroom, perhaps we could return to the testimony. Did you also see the moment that the cage materialized, Mr. Loon? No, I did not see the explosion myself, however. The cage had fell from the sky like a stone and crashed into the crystal tower.
Hold it!
Did you see that actually happen? No, in reality I did not. I saw after it hit the tower. There was a grand confusion around the stage. I ran to see what had happened. I was terrorized by the idea that one of my balloons had crashed. I suppose they are his livelihood. But when I looked up to the sky, all my precious balloons were still there. I saw it, though. I saw it slam into the tower. After all, I'm a detective now. Then tell us what you saw, Inspector Lestrade. That's what I like to hear. I didn't get a good look inside the cage, but no one went near it after it crashed into the tower.
Hold it!
Was it you who gave me the order to keep people away? Use your head, Odo. How could it have been me? I was up in a balloon, weren't I? Right. So, cause I weren't available, it was the boss who had to leg it over there. He was getting shoved and kicked all over by the panicking spectators. As he tried to seal off the scene. It was a real sight to behold, I can tell ya. Amazing. Poor Inspector Gregson. So anyway, I couldn't see the cage that well cause of all the smoke. I didn't really want to see, to be honest. I was scared out of me wits. Keep it together, Inspector. Yeah, Captain Chips, I might need a hint. Which statement needs presenting? The prosecution really is asserting that the demonstration was genuine. But what if it was actually some kind of switch-around trick instead? That would mean that the victim was never actually on the stage in the first place. The two explosions would have thrown everyone watching into a panic for sure. I think I need to find out more about what exactly people saw at the time. The first? This statement here? There was a terrible incident. Grateful that my balloons were not damaged. Okay, I'm gonna say this.
Objection!
Okay, thank God. Mr. Loon, in your testimony, you said that all three of the balloons you had operating at the time were undamaged. See, that is correct. If they had been caught in the explosions, it would have been terrible. I wonder if you might know what this is. Ah, I think it may be. See, part of a balloon, a burnt piece of the fabric of the envelope. Sorry, the envelope? Pardon, that is the large round part of the balloon which becomes filled with hot air. It is made from very thick fabric lined with rubber. You do not want it to rip when you are in the sky. Just as I thought. This piece of cloth we found near the experimentation stage, in other words, as Master Gotts testified, a green balloon did indeed explode that day. Eh? If all the balloons in the sky above the experimentation stage belong to you, Mr. Loon, then your statement that they were all undamaged clearly contradicts the evidence. No! If a balloon exploded that day, why didn't the man say so? Maybe everyone on board was killed. Oh no, having just spent 10 whole pounds for the experiment, how awful. Seems to me like those things crash 50% of the time anyway.
Objection!
The instantaneous kinesis did occur, but after the explosion on the stage. The point of materialization shifted to a location occupied by a balloon. Causing the balloon to explode? Yes, eminently plausible. An unfortunate traffic accident, as it were, but it changes nothing about the pertinent facts. This I cannot accept. Why not, Mr. Loon? You are suggesting that I am a liar. That person died in the balloon incident. There's no need to get fired up, Mr. Loon. The victim was the sole fatality of that day. That's right, and I prove it. Balthazar Loon is not a liar. There was no such balloon in the sky. It is non-possible. Possibly. You're saying it's impossible? Why? What is Mr. Loon's name? I'm gonna say Bal. I don't know his name actually. Let's see real quick just for fun. Balthazar Loon. Bal Loon. There we go. And his name is just Bohemian Boy for now. Because his name is big. Can't find a pun there. Balloon. Balthazar Balloon. This court has more important matters to discuss than the number of balloons that were operating that day. Balthazar Loon, Balloon, Balloon. Yep. Aye. But we can't ignore the fact that nobody appears to have known anything about this other balloon until now. My lord, the defense calls for further testimony from Mr. Loon. I concur. There is clearly more to the truth here than meets the eye. It's imperative that we clear up the issues of this phantom balloon, I feel. Witness, you will give supplementary testimony about the balloons you were operating at the exhibition. Ah, grazie, my lord. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers, as if they fell to the ground in an explosion. What a catastrophe. But you can't get away from the fact that a burnt-up piece of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? The coppers at the yard reckoned it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. The stupid ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. So your assertion is that the balloon this child saw was not one belonging to you? Si, exactamente. Even if he saw a balloon in the first place. I do not like the sound of it. It is very bad for business. I have a good mind to sue the land of Bohemia. If you attack us, we will fight back. It will be war. All out war. Okay. What happened to All Out War? What is Naruhodo like holding up on his arm? There's nothing on his arm. Mr. Loon certainly doesn't appear to be lying, but that doesn't change the fact that the testimony and evidence are contradictory here. If the defense is unable to find fault with this witness's statements, the court must consider them the truth. Think long and hard on that, my learned friend. The situation has clearly changed now. I have to get to the bottom of what happened here, no matter what it takes. Counsel, you may now cross-examine the witnesses. Just the 2 of them this time. As I said, Balthazar Loon is no liar. Every balloon I had in the sky landed safely. You couldn't just have forgotten one, maybe? Signor, I might not notice if I was given 100th lentils and one was missing. But we are talking about 3 enormous balloons. Do you believe I could make a mistake about something so grand and expensive? I took the liberty of having Inspector Gregson check this gentleman's warehouse. I have the report here. It clearly says a total of 3 balloons. It would appear no mistake has been made then. Surely Miss Lestrade could have been sent for such a menial task? What? Me? I'll tell you what I told the boss. East End kids like me can only count up to 2. Obviously that ain't true, but the boss bought it and said he'd have to go himself in that case. All 3 of my balloons were carrying passengers. If they fell to the ground in an explosion, what a catastrophe. It would be quite a catastrophe if they fell to the ground for any reason, I think. On that note, Mr. Loon, tell me, what is it that keeps these balloons in the sky? Are you an idiota? Sorry? This is like asking, why does a candle burn bright? It burns bright because it burns bright, and a balloon flies because it flies. What else? That must be Italian for I don't know. There are 2 types of flying balloons, hot air balloons and gas balloons. Hot air balloons work on the principle of hot air being less dense than cold air, whereas gas balloons derive their lift by using a gas that is lighter than air. See, and my balloons are filled with the magic gas, I believe. Hydrogen, lighter than air, but highly explosive. Good Lord! I do not permit smoking of the cigarettes in any of my balloons. The magic gas does not like fire. Even a small spark of static electricity could cause the entire balloon to explode. What is the matter with you, Signor? All that comes out of your mouth is explosion, explosion. I tell you, my balloons are perfectly safe. They have to be, or I cannot eat. None of my balloons exploded that day, I am completely sure. But if you still say that is what happened, you must show me the proof. Alright, so Mr. Loon had 3 balloons in the air that day. None of them were damaged. Then what was the one that exploded? But you can't get away from the fact that a burnt-up piece of cloth was found at the scene, can ya? Hold it! I was surprised to find the piece of fabric still at the scene, actually. Didn't you search the area surrounding the stage for clues? Nah, I'm not into picking stuff up off the ground, me. Always works out way better diving into people's pockets instead. So much for the new career path. Mind you, the boss was on his hands and knees picking up all kinds of rubbish from the floor. Thing is, though, that cage went crashing into the Crystal Tower, didn't it? That's where most of the investigating was going on. Even so, I would have thought someone from Scotland Yard would have gathered it up as evidence. Core, listen to you. You stumble across a bit of balloon and suddenly you're the best investigator in the world. Pardon? Well, you ain't got a badge, have you? Like this one. I could arrest you with this if I wanted to. I wouldn't put it past her. Come to think of it, there was talk of some scorching on the ground at a meeting we had about the investigation. The coppers at the yard reckon it was probably some debris thrown from the explosion on the stage. Hold it! There was considerable damage to the stage and surrounding area, wasn't there? Yeah, some of the cobes were watching the experiment were caught in the blast and injured. Good job the old contraption didn't keel over, eh? I hadn't even considered that. It seems there was a great panic after the incident occurred. Nevertheless, the police shouldn't have missed a torn piece of the envelope from a balloon. Inspector Gregson can expect repercussions. Like me swiping all his fish and chips, eh? Yeah, man, sole pleasure. None of this matters. The scrap of balloon envelope means nothing. Niente. This stupid ragazzo is mistaken. My balloons have the red and blue zigzag stripes anyway. Hold it! You mean the color is wrong? Si, signor. I do not have any green balloons in my warehouse. And yet, a piece of green cloth was found at the scene, and it's unmistakably from a balloon. Well, I do not know how that can be. For the sake of argument, let's say that a green balloon did explode above the stage. You couldn't therefore conclude that it happened on the day in question. Why not? There have been recreational balloon flights over Hyde Park operating from before the Great Exhibition. One could have exploded on some earlier date, unfortunate, as I'm sure you'd agree. You believe it may have been from some earlier balloon accident that predates the exhibition? Si, exactamente. As the signor says, it is not from one of my balloons. Clearly this little ragazzo from Bohemia is mistaken about what he saw. Oh, boy is mad. Excuse me! Is something wrong, Master Gotts? It's Master Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund Ormstein. It was on the tip of my tongue. Yeah, something is very wrong. I know what I saw. There was a green balloon there. I swear it. I swear all over Bohemia. You can speak as much bad language as you like, but it changes nothing. If you do not have evidence, ragazzo, then I must tell your parents to punish you, eh? Perhaps we'll let the judge decide when it comes to punishments. Evidence? What is this evidence? To give a simple example, young man. A photograph, for instance, some tangible proof of what you claim. Well, why didn't you say so sooner? I have the photograph here. Good gracious! What? I had not been up in a balloon for a little while, so I was very excited. I took lots and lots of photographs of the Crystal Tower, of the Bohemian exhibit, of the street of London, of the hot eel cellar, the balloon. And the instantaneous kinesis experiment? Did you take a picture of that? Yeah, one picture. Really? You did take one? But all I wanted was a ride in a balloon. I was not interested in boring experiments. Never mind that. Can you show us that photograph? Of course, and then you will see. You will see that I am not lying, that I really did see a green balloon. That doesn't help. Well, I see you are all too shocked to speak. Yes, I think shocked is indeed the word, young man. Yeah, perhaps you cannot see that it was a green balloon from this photograph, but that is not my fault. That is the fault of the stupid person who made the camera. Wah, wah. That is one very Bohemian-sounding cry. Wah, wah. I do not know how to do the A's with the 2 dots above it. Very well, the court will accept this photograph as evidence. It's not my fault, it's the fault of the person who made the camera. Well, never mind. I'm sure you have plenty of wonderful sepia memories to take home with you. In any case, when exactly did you take that photograph? Well, it was on the day of the big explosion. You don't say. When I pressed the shutter release, there was this very loud bang, and the hot wind rushed over my face. That means this photograph was taken a split second before the explosion occurred? Well, if you ask me, this black and white photograph changes nothing. I could not give out the flying fig. Lovely language you picked up. As I thought, Mr. Loon's testimony just doesn't quite add up. The young bohemian boy claims to have seen another, fourth balloon, but Mr. Loon vehemently denies the possibility, and it's hard to imagine the man in charge could be mistaken about the number that were in the air. Still, this inconsistency must tell us something, I'm sure. I think is the same as I. Is that how you say that? I. What was the one where he said, I need proof? Yeah, what about this balloon?
Objection!
Okay, good. Unfortunately, the photograph Master Guts took can't tell us the color of the balloon. Can I take a better look at it? We have the laser beam. We have a strange beam of light here, it looks like. An empty balloon here. So the boy was looking at it from here. There's the dude in there, the scientist. What's that beam of light, do you think, guys? It's more of an A rather than an A, if that makes sense. So, way is that how he was crying there? A. But it can tell us something else, something crucially important. What? It shows that the pictured balloon wasn't carrying any passengers. Ah, my goodness, you're right. But surely all the balloons would have been carrying passengers. There would be no sense in it otherwise. Kinda? You think? See, they are for pleasure, for seeing the view. My balloons only fly with passengers. Which tells us that the picture balloon isn't one of them. So when the incident occurred that day, there was a fourth balloon in the skies above the experimentation stage. The mysterious green balloon. I know nothing. Niente. I can only tell you this one thing. If this balloon was not carrying passengers, then it was not one of mine. I love his hat.
Objection!
There are illegal tradesmen everywhere you care to look. Clearly, one such entrepreneur decided to capitalize on the opportunity presented by the great exhibition. Hey, Siller for life, what's up? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? It's good to see ya. And managed to operate balloon flights on Mr. Loon's patch without him realizing. See, the competition tries to steal my profits. I did not notice because of the experimento that went wrong on that stage. This fourth balloon exploded at the very same moment Mr. Asman was beamed from the stage below. Right, so them scraps that fell to the ground after and left them scorch marks. It didn't come from the stage at all. It was bits of the balloon were raining down. Because no one was in it, it didn't get no attention. A mysterious fourth balloon carrying no passengers, silently floating over the experimentation stage.
Objection!
This photograph shows us nothing more. A stray balloon carrying no one and operated by some rogue trader. Clearly, it has nothing to do with the case. Its relevance does elude me, I must say. The court has seen sufficient evidence and heard ample testimony already. The prosecution calls for this trial to be concluded. Oh boy. Yeah, what have you been up to these days, Siller? And Tiger King Fist is here too. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the other game I'm streaming each and every night, Tiger Night. Tiger King, rather. How you doing, though? He said cello. Really? Have we really got to the truth yet? No, I can't let this opportunity slip away. The jurors' minds are made up, and not to our favor. What else in the photograph tell us there's nothing more than we can learn from it? Is there more, Captain Chips? Is there more? I'm assuming there's more, right?
Objection!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, wait. Please don't give your decisions yet. The photograph from Master Gotts may well be hiding one more vital clue. Playing rivals? Ooh, nice. I wish you luck. And it... What's that? A vital clue?
Objection!
Doing good, just hunting monsters? Hunting monsties? In Monster Hunter? Of the Wilds, maybe? We're well past the point of mere possibilities. It's time for definitives now, so tell the court. What exactly does this alleged clue to the photograph prove? The owner, the color, the cause of the explosion. Oh gosh darn it, guys. I don't know. I'm streaming it right now. Ooh. Well, you shouldn't say that during someone else's stream. That's not a good idea, Sailor. Literally saying it earlier, follow your gut. I don't have a gut. I have a guess. I guessed at that one. I'm gonna guess this one too. When did I mention my gut? I haven't mentioned my gut at all today. It's all good, Sailor. It's all good, don't worry, my friend. Just tell me later when you're live and I'll check it out. We can reasonably assume that the pictured balloon was destroyed in the searing heat of the explosion. That's what's the weird feeling that made you think you weren't gonna like Paper Mario? That was my gut, for sure. That was my gut big time. This was a guess. Yeah, that's right, it was not my fault. Evidently, because the birdcage from the kinesis machine materialized in the sky where it had been flying. And that balloon, being filled with flammable hydrogen, instantly and explosively ignited. You literally said while you were looking at the pic that the white thing might have been what caused the balloon to explode. That was my guess, not my gut feeling. If I said gut feeling, my bad. I say a lot of stupid things. No, that's not what happened. What? What, rather? It would appear that this photograph requires closer examination. Counsel for the defense, you will highlight the location of this alleged clue in the photograph for the court. Of course, my lord. If you look closely, it's plain enough to see, and what's shown is linked to another piece of evidence we have, in a way that leads to an unbelievable conclusion. The clue that heavily suggests the real reason the balloon eluded us is... the beam of light. Yeah.
Take that!
The timing of this photograph can only be described as miraculous. If you look, you'll notice that there's a bright white light that appears to point directly at the balloon. Most likely a ray of light caught incidentally on the film. I'm afraid I can see nothing of the sort. If you look with a magnifying glass, my lord, it becomes clear what the nature of this bright line really is. I literally said while you were looking... Oh, I read that already. Whoops! Goodness, what is that? Undeniably some flash of light, yes. Oh golly, do you think it might be lightning? But it couldn't have been a finer day. I believe we may be looking at fire. A bolt of fire heading straight for the balloon, like an arrow. Indeed, even to my aging eyes, it would appear to be a flame of some sort. Was that guy allowed to have a gun in court, by the way? Maybe he's a cop or something, but... My word, are you suggesting this flame struck the hydrogen gas that filled the balloon?
Objection!
And how the frick no, he wouldn't. What about the girl with the corn? That would be allowed, right? But not the gun guy. That's absurd. The balloon would have been 60 feet above the ground at the time. No flame could possibly have reached such a height.
Objection!
Actually, it's my opinion that a particular piece of evidence found at the scene reveals how that is exactly what happened. What evidence? If such evidence exists, Counsel, then for goodness sake present it, man! Which evidence explains this mysterious streak of flame that appears to be heading directly for the balloon? No idea, guys. Nothing here resembles fire, as far as I'm aware. The arrow, maybe? Anything here? Can't be the beam, because the beam wasn't aiming... Didn't start at the thing.
Take that!
The true nature of the curious slim streak of light is revealed by this. A curious answer with a slim chance of being the correct one, I feel. Alright, Captain Chips, I need your help on this one. Is the answer on the left or right side of the first one? Is it on this side or this side? Left, my man, so it's one of these for some reason. This? The beam?
Take that!
Nope. Okay. 3 choices left, guys. What's it gonna be? Crossbow? There's nothing involving this anywhere with, involving fire.
Take that!
This was found hidden at the foot of a small ornamental tree near the scene. Can you suggest one? Go ahead. What would you want to suggest, Stiller? Let's hear it. Good lord, is that a crossbow? An arrow dipped in oil and set alight that could have been shot from this weapon, sending the flame arrow straight into the hydrogen-filled balloon. Are you suggesting that crossbow was used to deliberately? Yeah, but how can an arrow make a big beam of light like that? A singular little arrow. You was about to say crossbow? Nice. Good. You were right. Blimey, you're right. That streak of light in the photo looks just like an arrow, doesn't it? Then, the explosion of the balloon, it was... Very likely the result of a flaming arrow from this crossbow igniting the hydrogen gas inside it. No! Ordar! Counsel, this is an extraordinary supposition. If the aim was to cause the balloon to explode, the shooter could have used a gun, of course. However, there's an obvious reason why that would have been out of the question. The noise of the discharge, of course. That's right. By using a crossbow, the projectile could be fired at the balloon slightly. Well, yeah, if someone had shot the gun off at the exhibition grounds, it could cause a real panic. But with the big explosion, there was a very big panic anyway, no? Honestly, when you're moving fast enough, things stretch out in individual photographs, particularly if they emit light of some description. Wouldn't they have to move extremely fast, though? Like, what was that called? Like Made in Heaven, making the sun go around that fast? Like mega super fast? Flame following the same thing behind shooting the thing, set a light. Yeah. I thought it would have to be way faster than that, though. For old-timey photos, not nearly as fast as you think. See, this involves common knowledge, and that's something I don't have. No common knowledge for me. I don't like this. I should be pleased to have found a plausible new explanation for all this, but something feels wrong.
Objection!
Do you understand the implications of what you're saying, my Nipponese friend? If a flaming arrow did indeed hit the balloon, then obviously it would have exploded. And if the birdcage appeared from the cloud of smoke that ensued... What? Wait a minute. What are you really saying here? I don't get it. Was the birdcage beamed up into the sky after all? Or what? My goodness me. Ah, now I understand. That's what the sinking feeling is about. I think there's a good chance that the birdcage was actually concealed inside the balloon all along. What? Did I just hear that correctly, Counsel? There's no going back now. The horse has bolted. Let's assume, as I said, that the birdcage was hidden inside the green balloon from the start. Bang. On stage, when the experiment was started, the birdcage and the instantaneous kinesis machine disappeared in a cloud of smoke. At the moment, the flaming arrow was fired from the ground, causing the green balloon to explode and drawing the attention of the spectators to the sky above their heads. From amid the smoke, the hidden birdcage then appeared to fall down and crash into the crystal tower. The made in heaven moving fast, and the gravity of the earth was moving around the sun actually moved the same speed the earth, sped up 3 times faster. From calculations from a science study you're reading. That's pretty cool. I'm surprised you knew what reference I was making, Siller. Well done. Well done, my friend, well done. What I've just described is the real truth behind the miraculous experiment carried out that day. Good grief! You love JoJo's? That scene was so well done. A masterful scene. This is ludicrous. What you've described is no science experiment. It's child's play. A contemptible display of stage magic. Oh, we know all about magic in these games, guys. Both Mr. Sholmes and Iris said that the experiment was a scientific impossibility, in which case, this is the only way to explain what happened that day. And in any case, the victim's body was found inside the birdcage in the Crystal Tower. If the instantaneous kinesis didn't take place, how would you explain that? If I may put in a word, as a man of magic myself, such apparent discrepancies can easily be explained by some simple deception. Juror number 3? All that would be needed is a doppelganger. Yes, someone who looks very similar to the victim, Mr. Asman, and having this other man appear on stage to front the show as a body double. Ah, yes, of course. So in fact, Mr. Asman must have been inside the birdcage that was concealed inside the balloon right from the start.
Objection!
The balloon would have been filled with hydrogen. Anything hidden inside it would have been scattered to the 4 winds when it exploded. No one would ever have embarked on such a risky venture. Not necessarily. The explosive force of the balloon gas would very much depend upon the mixture of ratio. Juror number 4? Flying balloons are rarely filled with pure hydrogen, but a mixture of other gases such as helium as well. Helium on its own doesn't explode, but by controlling the gas mixture ratio, the explosive force can be altered. The mixture ratio? Obviously, the victim's body would have suffered some burns that would be unavoidable, but not to such an extent as to render the whole obscene charade impossible. Interesting jury playing defense this time. Yep. How you doing, Hedgewolf? What's up? Can't wait for Steel Ball Run. I know. I want to see it. Make it happen faster. It won't, but make it happen faster. But yeah, how have you been, Hedgewolf? I hope your Hollow Knights were good when I left. So everything that happened can be explained, logically and scientifically. I'm doing good, by the way. Awesomely. The explosion that engulfed the stage at the start of the experiment was no accident. It was all part of an elaborate deception to make it appear that instantaneous kinesis had occurred. Well, goodness me. And if we accept that this is what happened, it means that the victim, Mr. Asman, was never present on the public experimentation stage to begin with. No. In short, he couldn't have been killed by the defendant, who was on stage in full view the entire time. Arg! Gonna lurk? Alrighty. Lurk away, my friend. This will be very hard for the prosecution to counter. Lord Van Zieks can't credibly maintain that Professor Harebrain is a suspect now. Hold it! Who holded it? Uh-oh. Mr. Naruhodo, I appreciate your efforts. Thank you. Professor? But you can stop now. Just keep your mouth shut, please. Sorry? What's all this about, Mr. Harebrain? I, Albert Harebrain, hereby confess that it was me who stabbed Mr. Odie Esmond. Yes, it was me, with my faithful friend and partner, Andrew the Screwdriver. What? What are you doing? Order, order, order! Defendant, explain the sudden confession.
Objection.
Professor Harebrain, what are you talking about? It's what I've said all along. I must protect my hypothesis and my precious machine. You stand there and claim it was all a trick, and all an elaborate prank, but where's your proof? No, you'd have to examine that machine if you wanted to prove it, but then it would be all over. My beautiful hypothesis would be laid bare. I mean, the indignity of it. It's clear that you drew the plans for the experiment, but you didn't actually build it. It's quite conceivable that you were duped, Professor. If you just let me, I can prove... Barack! Yes? I'll cooperate. I'll do whatever you say. I swear it. So, please, ensure the special dispensation for scientific equipment act as adhered to and protect my creation. This guy. Captain Chips, how high is this person on the smackless man list? Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice at this critical juncture. Here's to my learned Nipponese friend. Because I'd say he's quite high right now on that list at the moment. What? And his upcoming attempt to clarify the defense's position in the light of the accused's confession. Do you intend to formally assert that the experiment was nothing more than a conjuring trick? Because the moment you do, the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act that protects the professor's invention will cease to apply. Prosecution will then demand a rigorous examination of the machinery involved in order to establish the truth. However, if you acknowledge that the machine is genuine and instrumental in the victim's murder, any chance of investigating will be crushed, and the confidentiality of the professor's hypothesis preserved. Well, counsel, what is the defense's official position on this matter? What Professor Harebrain, my client, actually asked of me was to prove that the explosion on stage was an accident and protect the secrecy of his hypothesis. But there's no way to do that without it implying the professor's guilt. Do I protect my client's life by asserting his innocence, or do I uphold my client's request but see him condemned? Either way, I can't avoid betraying his trust. But damn, there's a case to be made. He's not wrong here, but damn, bro. Severe catch-22 here? What does that mean? Severe catch-22. You've been silent long enough, isn't it? Isn't talking your trade, my learned friend? Or has all knowledge of English escaped your confused Nipponese mind? Mr. Naruhodo, there's no escape here. I have to make a choice, but it's an impossible one. I have to give up on something, but what? The defense asserts that the defense insistence kinesis machine was in fact... what do I do here? I don't even know what's happening anymore. Hey, Ilunatel. I haven't heard Catch-22 in a while. It's a literary reference I don't expect you to get. It means you're caught in a situation where no matter what you do, you're screwed. So, does it matter? Here's a hint. What you do, what you choose here does not matter. Okay. So, here's what we're gonna do, guys. I'm going to close my eyes, and also just press the button a couple of times, and it'll be a guess. But yeah, how are you, Iluna? It's good to see you here. Hope you're doing good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ugh! No, I can't say it. My client places faith in me. I can't just let him down. What must I give up on is not the question you have to ask yourself here. It's what can I protect. Oh, hello again, Mr. Naruhodo. It's been far too long. Susato-san? But, what are you? Hiya! Ah, my first Susato takedown in 6 months. There'll be time to talk later, Mr. Naruhodo. For now, you must concentrate on the task at hand. Which is working out what? Which is working out not what I have to give up on, but what I can protect. Doing well, thought you'd pop in. Don't think you've seen this Ace Attorney game before. It's the latest one that was released, I believe. It's the Great Ace Attorney 2. It's pretty good so far. Professor Hairbrain. Ah, yes? Yesterday you told me that science is the pursuit of truth. Well, my job is to pursue the truth too. Yes, of course. And personally, I believe that you didn't stab Mr. Asman. I think you've come to realize something yourself too, haven't you? Bang. Doing well. Oh, I read that already. That your experiment and the machine you built with the victim are questionable. The truth behind that is what we must both pursue now. Wag! Toss! So, you finally open your eyes. What? And as for you, Albert, you can't ignore this any longer. Having heard my learned friend's assertion, don't you have something to say? Barack? Lord Van Zeeks. Gosh, I've never heard him speak that way before. Susato, what are you wearing, by the way? Is that your new get-up? And same for you, Naruhodo. Don't even get me started on your clothes, too. In truth, there is one thing, something I've remembered that's of relevance. What? On the day it happened, just before I began the experiment, I saw a man near the stage. A man holding that crossbow. I beg your pardon? Professor, did the man have any distinguishing features? What did he look like? Taller than me, and thinner than me, with straight hair, straighter and wider than mine. Let me see. One less lens than me, too. A monocle, rather stylish black monocle. But one thing in particular will help us positively identify the man. You see, I know him very well. After all, he's the engineer who built my invention. What? He built the machine? That's right. Mr. Asman introduced him to me a year ago. He's a man by the name of Enoch Drebler. Enoch Drebler? Drebber, rather? Enoch Drebber. Enoch Drebber. Does this name mean something? Is it a pun, guys? Do you see a pun here? Am I even saying the name right? Enoch? Huh? Is that how you say it? Enoch? Why is it CH then? That doesn't make sense. Does the name mean something? Members of the jury seem flustered. Not a name any scientist wishes to hear. The man's an abomination. Not a name any conjurer wishes to hear either. Who on earth is he? I'm afraid this isn't the first tale of this nature that I've heard in scientific circles in connection with that name. Enoch is an old name. It's Hebrew. Dang. Words don't make sense, guys. Pronunciations don't make sense. There's talk of other flamboyant experiments that turn out to be nothing but stage trickery in the end. Obviously, the rascal is after the government's research grant money. When magicians are in need of money, I have heard of them resorting to these underhanded tactics. Some acquaintances of mine with experience of such things have mentioned Enoch Drebber's name before. The man is both an engineer and a magician. Yes, we're dealing with an unparalleled confidence trickster here. That's Enoch Drebber for you. Very old. I mean, is Jose or Jose? I always thought it was Joe's for the longest time. Yeah, Jose also doesn't make sense. There's no H in Jose. So it's true then. My invention, my great machine, It was just a grand illusion. Considering what we've just heard about Mr. Drebber's character, I'm sorry to say that sounds increasingly likely. Even though no one else believed it, I wanted to. I wanted to believe that machine would function exactly as my hypothesis predicted. Which is why you were so opposed to it being investigated, I presume? I knew that if the machine was examined in detail, its construction would give away my hypothesis. Hispanic, is that what Jose is? But obviously I didn't want that to happen, but at the same time, I knew that if it was found to be nothing more than a trick than a work of deception, then everything I've worked towards, all my research, all my dreams, my whole life would be over. I was terrified at the prospect. So you really had no idea then, did you? About the true nature of the machine that was built, and the true nature of Mr. Drebber. I never questioned anything. I didn't want to question it. It's entirely possible that Mr. Asman and Mr. Drebler were working together to use you as a means of fraudulently acquiring the research grant money. Bruh, language doesn't make sense. Making noise with their mouth parts to pretending what you're from different sounds mean different things. Argue what different sounds mean. Yep, they sure will. Very strange stuff, eh? When I announced my invention to the crowds that day, it was the finest moment of my career. I pulled all the levers and turned all the dials in exactly the way Drebber had described. When the smoke suddenly started billowing out, I panicked. I didn't know what was happening. But I really don't know how the whole illusion was made to work. I don't know anything anymore. Let me confirm one final point with you, Professor. Do you now consent to the prosecution submitting the necessary paperwork to release your invention from the protection afforded by the Special Disposition for Scientific Equipment Act? Yes, please go ahead. I'm very sorry. Exactly. Exactamundo. It would appear that we shall have to suspend proceedings for the remainder of the day now. Lord Van Zeeks, my lord, the court has newly been made aware of another party whose involvement in this matter is critical. Yes, Mr. Drebber. Gather information about the man, if possible. I should like him served with a subpoena. With pleasure, my lord. Now, counsel for the defense? Yes, my lord. When we reconvene, I shall be looking for one thing and one thing alone from you. Evidence that the defendant is innocent of the crime for which he presently stands accused. I understand. Good. In that case, this court is adjourned until tomorrow morning. Well, that's the end of that. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? I'm so sorry. I was wrong. You were right. I tricked you. You trusted me. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry, so sorry. Did you really have no idea, Professor? About what Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean? About what he was really constructing? Naturally. That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had complete faith in it. Alright, in that case I won't say any more. Now, sadly the murder accusation against you still stands. We must do as much investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow. Well, thank you for doing so much for me. I'm so sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo. Arriving late? Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I'd arrived. Postcard? What postcard? I had it from you, Runo, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work? I was surprised, all right, especially when she threw me to the ground. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that it sort of slipped out. Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in future. Susie's train was late into London Victoria this morning, you see, but we made the coachman really whip the horses hard so she didn't miss the whole trial. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself. Well, I'm glad you didn't. Oh, having you at my side in court gives me the strength I need to win. So, I'm, delighted to see you back in London. Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. Hope I can continue to be of service to you. Of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest? Let's save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we? You know, I've made one of my most epic special blends, most special blends ever for this special occasion. Oh, Iris, how wonderful! I can't wait. I love your new costume, Susato. Susato-san was back in London. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn. I love extraordinary turns.
Well, that's the end of court for now, folks. Yes.
The 23rd of October. Who in chat is ready for Halloween, by the way? Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though. And it's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar. I didn't know when you might return, and I wanted everything to be as you left it. But it has been some 6 months, it's true. So is your father alright, Susie? What happened? My father? Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it was half a year ago, but that's why you went back to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying you'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason. That's right. So I was surprised to learn that you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy! I think I wrote about it in my letter to you, that it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that. Well, we're all delighted to have you back. It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium. The International Forensic, that's the same symposium Lord Strongheart mentioned. Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris. Oh! You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan. Yes, of course, I shall. And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention about you-know-who. About Voldemort? Oh, Kazuma. I know. I'll tell you all that I can. Alright. Back in Britain. When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, this mood changed entirely. The awful trial. Oh yes, for the murder of Giselle Brett. Ooh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie? Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice. Wow, amazing! I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Runo? Yes, I suppose so. I want to play at being a lawyer now. I could wear a false mustache, maybe. I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just 10 years old, Iris. She could be like a tiny man. Susato looking phenomenal in London fashion. She is. Looking fresh, Susie. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Miss Susato. It's about the real reason why Professor Mikotoba summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings. That's right, the very large dog collar we found with the bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet. Why would that be then? Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time, but if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answers for myself, and I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets. Oh, Susie! That's a very meaningful look Susato-san's giving Iris there. Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend. Yes, and from Japan my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe. Well, Professor Mikotoba is the leading expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge, did you say? Yes, His Excellency Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Mr. Naruhodo. Last year, in the Supreme Court? You can't possibly have forgotten. That terrible trial of yours when you were accused of murder. Ah, yes, I try to think of that as a positive turning point in my life these days. Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial. If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life. Oh, well anyway, as Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. It won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead. Yes, and about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important. I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General, the most senior position in the British justice system. He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition. Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart personally then? I wonder. Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about this very subject only yesterday. But I sort of lost the will to live early on, and didn't really listen to much of it. I'll trying for you. Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongly accused of a crime I didn't commit. The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson. Yes, Giselle Brett. That's a name I won't forget for as long as I live. The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget. Sorry? Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that an Englishwoman by the name of Giselle Brett didn't actually exist. Didn't exist? But how can that be? It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin, and she wasn't a visiting student either. That was a front. A front? Who on earth was she then? Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Miss A. Shin. Asian? Asian? Nobody knows why, or even how, she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery, but that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to? I'm afraid I don't really know. The only thing we can be sure of... Also, funny enough, Giselle's last name in Japanese is literally Bullet. Interesting. A bullet. Is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand. And now she's been killed. Well, while all the questions surrounding our existence remain unanswered. I'm afraid so. A. Shin. Who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? I don't remember. What about Kazuma? After my friend Ray's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange. I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on, in that visiting student's fate. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know the guy who never made it to England, that he died on the steamship, and then he'll never... Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama. And what did you learn? After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladed at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there. Should have been. Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared. What? Kazuma's body vanished? Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the hills by our hometown, except Kazuma-sama isn't there. Did Professor Mikotoba know about this? Yes, it would seem that he did, but he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak. I just don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension I have all of a sudden? Oh boy. That's to say Giselle Bullet rather than Giselle Brett. That is to say Giselle Bullet rather than Giselle Brett. What? I'm confused by that statement you just said. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SS Boria were definitely strange. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Never mind, it's not relevant. Gotcha. Could it be? Could it be that he's actually still alive? Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo. It's too much to bear. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he? And he definitely examined the body. I remember it clearly. You're right. So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us. But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. I suppose that's true, yes. The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it, because if it turned out not to be true, I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me. Oh, Miss Susato. I know she's given the idea of the thought it deserves. It's Susato-san we're talking about, after all, so I probably shouldn't push it now. You know what would stink, guys, if he was alive still? It means that entire second case in the first game was the biggest waste of time ever. Well, I can't move anywhere. Guess I can present things. Mr. Sato, do you see this? You have such a great expectation in your eyes, Mr. Naruhodo, but I'm afraid nothing particularly useful comes to mind at all. Oh, sorry. I'm not sure what I was expecting, really. Guess we'll keep presenting information. Keep presenting Susato with things. Come on. Come on, where's the plot, guys? Where's the plot now? Crossbow. This was used to shoot down the balloon, wasn't it? Yes, with the flaming arrow. It's quite a formidable weapon. I'm quite accomplished with a longbow myself, you know. No, really? If you were to balance an apple on your head, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm quite confident I could hit it from a good 50 meters away. Quite confident, you say? Does the apple necessarily have to be on my head? Oh, that didn't help. About this paper, Mr. Sato. Yes, it's all about the great exhibition. I've been dreaming about it, you know? I was sorry that you were going to miss it when you were called back to Japan. So was I. I felt desperately unlucky. But here I am, back in London while it's underway. It's a dream come true. Perhaps you're not as unlucky as you thought then. Once we help Professor Hairbrain out of this terrible situation, we should all explore it together. And of course, we must invite the Professor's good friend Lord Van Zieks as well. Your luck might not stretch that far. You're still taking good care of that armband, I see. I'm so pleased. Well, yes, it feels like it wouldn't be me without it now, to be honest. Oh dear, there seems to be a thread coming loose just there. Look. I'd only be happy to mend it for you, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, thank you. Must have scraped it against something again. I'm always doing that. Then take better care of it, please. It was all going so well until I ruined it. Alright, did that do any new conversations? Is there anyone in the background I can talk to? You. It must have been about a year ago now. I wrote a really long story based on some of my father's old notes. It's about one of Hurley's greatest exploits. I called it The Hound of the Baskervilles. But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from publishing it, and put the manuscript somewhere nobody could get their hands on it. So nobody knows anything about it apart from Hurley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie? Oh, it sounds so exciting, The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. Pretty sure you weren't wearing that costume, at that scene, Susato. And you wouldn't tell me how you'd come to know it. Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time. Oh! I'm only sorry I've had to keep it from you for so long, Iris. It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles. What? My Baskerville story? Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time, but Father came in and...
Susato, what are you doing?
Oh, Father, did you look at those papers? No, I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind.
Sorry?
Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anybody else about this. Do you understand?
Strange. But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan? I have no idea, but when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office. That's really all I know about it. I no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still, I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you. Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory. And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well. So, you're fully abreast of the situation already, Mr. Sato. I'd expect nothing less, to be honest. I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick. Yes, a conjurer of sorts by the sound of it, well known in the field of science and magic. Then, we need to go and arrest him. Well, yes. He must know the truth behind this case, so I agree we really do need to find the man. It sounds as if it's a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police or a great detective. We're supposed to be guessing who she might be thinking of. We don't have much time, so we need to get started straight away, I think. Good idea. Well, best of luck then. Oh, you're not coming today? I'm going to Brixton Road shortly for the herb market. But let me know later how you got on, won't you? That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb medicine must be strong.
Okay. Move.
Let's just check out this place real quick. It's probably nothing, but it could be something. Yep. Nothing as I thought. No Sholmes here. Anyone in the Lord Justice area? Oh, 2 people. Oh, who's that standing beside Lord Strongheart? I wonder. I've never seen her before. Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand. And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, you mean because of Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's Great Exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrambling to respond. Lord Van Zeeks is in Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents an investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensics investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. Scrap metal now, is it? Until later then, Lord Strongheart. Yes, thank you. Do we see her somewhere, guys? She looks familiar. Who was that? That was Dr. Courtney Saith, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensics investigation team's handling of this case. He was just delivering a report about the victim in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman. Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to ask her directly. You can find her in the forensics laboratory. Alright. Now, what were you here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. Well, he's not running away quite so spectacularly late anymore. Whoops. What exactly is that forensics investigation team you mentioned before? The British Empire Police Force must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensics investigation team over a year ago. Now, unofficially, of course, to pave the way. Goodness, a year ago? At next month's symposium, I intended to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. Once that happens, the position of the Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, these scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. The London scum is about to be rounded up and burned in the fires of hell. I intend to see it personally.
by creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future.
Look at those eyes. He means every word.
Dr. Sith,
Is it Sith or Scythe?
is an extremely reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it at as my right-hand woman.
Now then, speaking of the symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord. Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way here to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month.
Are you acquainted with Lord Strongheart?
Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean?
It was many years ago now, but yes, I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well.
By the way, Captain Chips, you should see the latest CinemaSins today. It's a movie we all know very, very well.
If my memory serves, it was some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
It was the year I was born, so yes, 16 years ago in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner in forensic science, and Jigoku accompanied him as a young promising judge. The punctuality and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly.
Yep, hot fuzz. You can bet sins were removed for that one.
I mean, it's that movie.
One of the funniest and greatest movies.
Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way.
I didn't think that you were.
Dr. Mikotoba studied forensics at one of London's largest hospitals, St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Sith was also there then, as it happens.
Then Dr. Sith knows my father, does he?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their paths crossed regularly, but I've no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was here studying his subject for some 6 years in total.
6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it? I lived with my grandmother in those years, so he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years? It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Oh.
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why?
Well, clearly something was going on at the time. Hi, stars! How you doing today? What's up? Welcome to another Ace Attorneys. But yeah, how are you today? It's good to see you here.
I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zieks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is that right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well.
I'm doing good, thanks.
Another day, another great Ace Attorneys.
Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper.
What? Why? His brother was killed. When his brother, Clint Van Zieks, was murdered, it was just after young Barak had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor, when obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in court started disappearing. Rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Barak Van Zieks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind.
Oh my word! So Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper? It's the ghost of his brother?
Ever since that time, he's become a very aloof figure in London's legal circles.
Oh yes, Lord Strongheart.
Go ahead.
It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine. I'd like your permission to examine the remains if possible.
Are you well versed in science, then?
Not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently.
Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sith's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. After all, only a Sith deals in absolutes. But I suppose until then, there's no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you touch nothing. Thank you. Being able to look at it is better than nothing. And I'll be able to see it too. Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now, I'm afraid. My next engagement calls. Bye. We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord. I have important matters to attend to in preparation for the symposium, you understand. I wonder if the symposium will have a case. Oh boy. Look at that jail wall, guys. What's he doing? Oh my, the whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations. And he's still writing more now. Professor, sorry to interrupt. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. And who is this young lady? My name is Susato Mikatoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor. Oh, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner. None of this would have happened. No, that's not logical. That makes no sense at all. Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in the court this morning. Oh no. The whole miserable affair, it all happened because I made such a complete and utter clot. Professor Hairbrain, what have you been working out in your cell? Oh, you mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to write it down. The wall was all I had to hand. Oh, is it some new hypothesis? Something to suppress super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually, this is my autobiography. Your autobiography? How I was diddled and fiddled by Albert Hairbrain. I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in an ambitious set of simultaneous equations. Really? I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see? So it's going to be a new serial publication for next month. Part 1, An Odd Birth and Odd Upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little more about the case? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled by the pair of them, by Asmen, and by the aloof engineer Jebber. We're not going to have to sit through an explanation of all these equations. Are we? Well, here we go. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asman, the kinesis machine, my hypothesis even. I'm sorry it's come to this. There was really no other way. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, but in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public. No, of course you didn't. But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? If you've done something wrong without knowing it, you've still done something wrong. Logically, it makes no difference if you were aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me. Oh, Professor. You believed in me this morning, you know. Baraka did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that there was just a necessary factor, in the prosecution's establishing its case. No, Barak wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he genuinely believed it. Did he? I think I understand now. why it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. After the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis for anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not any lawyers even. I feel like I dealt some kind of finishing blow there. So if any other prosecutor had taken the case, if it was anybody other than Barack, I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense. And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor. Exactly, which would have been taken a fate worse than death as for me. But Barack insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think? That's why he... I know him very well indeed. He is an extremely kind-hearted soul. But that extremely talented, kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he? Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it. And what about the whole Reaper side of things? How does that fit with what kind-hearted soul idea? Do you think he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say, that doesn't seem likely, yes. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy fancier. He looked over the paper I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused, he was so empathetic. In reality, he was the mastermind of some vast criminal network, it seems. I still can't believe it. As the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic, it probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually. But for the scale of it, it just wasn't some small trick. Seems it was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their burgeoning knives, full of zeal, but none of us have any money. You want us to research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take over on barrels as legal part-timers who have tried to earth just a few months' measly pennies to carry on. Target, though, through all of you, and only then will you be taken for a couple food. It's too rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And this is why we don't have to find those responsible and bring them to justice. Mr. Asmund is no more, of course, which leaves only the daughter, Mr. Enoch Drebler. Drebber, the engineers. Is he an engineer, or a magician, or a swindler? It was about a year ago when Mr. Asmund first brought Drebber to meet with me at the laboratory. Since then I've met him many times to discuss details about the Kinesis machine, but at no point did you have any inkling that was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't just an illusionist. What do you mean? He was the wealth of a deep scientific knowledge. There's no question about the man's genius scientist. A genius scientist. It's mostly apparent in conversation. I see. But the wretched man's deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find them and bring them toward justice. And there's no more chess when you can give it a whereabouts. I'm sorry, we only ever discussed the kitchen Kinesis machine. Nothing else. Although, just once, I did vanish his workshop. To what workshop? Or what workshop? Hey Minim, good night. Good night, Minim. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good stream, had a good time. I'm glad you did. Sorry if I was late in seeing your messages. I'm gonna get a drink real quick. Great machine. Okay. Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there.
Drebber's workshop.
So you've been to Drebber's place to work then? Yes, it just once you understand. It was an enormous place, plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see? Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a good chance we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure. As in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear of this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. Was more than half expecting that. You see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you. He wasn't taking any chances then. The place was incredible, the place of modern technology. Even the oil he used was the very best. A special French machine oil that's impossible to obtain in La Britain. Ah, the indescribable scent of that imported oil. Perfumers across the world would forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Miss Susie? Are you the machine for your next birthday? I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo, and I'm not sure I'd like to start with that one. I don't suppose you know even part of the workshop's address, Professor? You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber. For example? The man was clearly very cautious, Miss Steph. So, yes, I do. He just gave me his business card once, but it's right here, look. What? Let me see that. Throw thing to the wind and why don't you? Enough Drebber enhancer. Engineer, rather. I'm afraid that's it. That's all it says. There's no address. No. Oh well. Can't say I'm surprised. Still, this could be useful. Guess we've done everything. So, let us move. Who is it? Hey, someone's here. Playing with the puppy. I had no idea there were so many people in the world. I know what you mean. It's really packed here today. Feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to the street. Has it? I shut my brain down so I didn't really notice, to be honest. Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo. There you are. I had a feeling you lot would show your mugs before long. Oh, Inspector Gritson. I see you're hard at work as usual. Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met. What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in court this morning. Not you, Sunshine, the gentlewoman so loyally at your side. Oh! Why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice. He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. As you probably guessed, we were hoping to investigate the scene some more. Right. Well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over there, Gina. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy. Probably giving it the traditional East End training. Gina? She's a police officer now? Amazing, isn't it? She's a good ticket. She's a good kid, actually. Here's in the right places anyway. She's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps slightly. What do you think what do you mean? I've been transferred. It's time for me to stay toodle-oo to London. Oh no, really? That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see you. You're how getting along? Yes. Not likely, but you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is. To France? I'll be working in the Paris Police Prefecture. Should be right up my alley. But France, it's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there? That's the way the adult world works, Sunshine. Now, don't go picking your nose where it's not wanted. I intended to take the kid with me when I go. What? You're taking Gina to Paris? Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what'll become of her? I suppose he's worried about she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses. I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper. Oh, of course. So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, isn't it? Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me? No, of course not. Gotta keep that diva safe and sound, at least until all this is over at last. She heard you right there. Oi, did you just call me a bloomin' diva again? So you heard that, did you? Right, well, alright, and any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva here. Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now. I suppose I'd better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, haven't you? Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that just, great? Toby's his name. Oh, how delightful. The absolutely adorable. He's absolutely adorable. Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But it's not the so lovely Inspector Gregson that's playing on my mind, to be honest. Give me a second, guys. Gina, we were actually hoping we could investigate the scene again. Yeah, alright. If it's about here, you can do what you like. Oh, thanks, that's alright, is it? I'm gonna be playing with me new friend here. Ah, yes, Toby. The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume? I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind. Sorry, you can't go up there, snooze. Oh! Like I told Odo yesterday, even I can't allow near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it? The special dispensation. Is that what you were thinking of? That's the one. That's why only them lot are allowed to investigate it. What are they called again? The French stick or something? The forensics investigation team is what you were thinking of? That's the one, yeah. But isn't it the one case that special dispensation has been lifted? The return of Missile? Maybe. Missile's old ancestor. I think so. I don't really get it, to be truthful with ya. You're still supposed to get permission from some bigwigs rather than, as far as I know. What is his name again? Lord Strange something? I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps. That's the one, yeah. Apparently, he's always watching over time or something. Actually, you've just recently been to see Lord Strongheart. You what? You met him? Last time that boss was called to go out and see him, he waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling. Tragic. Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene, so as long as we touch nothing. Oh, yeah? Honestly. Alright then, go ahead. But if it turns out you're lying, It'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you still saying all this is about the about board, aren't you? I'm sure everything will be fine. That really would be tragic. Alright then, them's up the stairs. Off you go. Oh, thank you, Gina. Oh, there's 2 more. It was a great, wasn't it? If I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me at that. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying I'm about to be found out. You did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you? Yeah, I know it made things hard for me every single time and all. Just doing my job, Gina. But watching someone else get it in the neck was a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client. Yes, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though. It's the boss I feel sorry for. Sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean? You're supposed to arrest the other cove, ain't he? And the time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer, what was his name again? Mr. Drebber, you mean? Not Drebber. Enoch Drebber. Oh, that's the one, yeah. So the policing are looking for this mysterious man with a black monocle. Guess they would be. It's pulling too much on the boss, if you ask me. He says it's giving him a gut ache. Oh dear, but I do wonder if that isn't actually from all the fried food. So Scotland Yarders are trying to track down Enoch Drebler. Wonder if they had any luck. He's really funny looking. Got 2 eyes. Whoa, don't match. Such stole a glimpse from a picture of him earlier. I mean, I actually understand. I didn't actually pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it. Sorry, what? You know, that some Skeleton Reaper was always glagging down glasses at the blood red plunk. Glugging down, not glagging. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks. He always had it in for me, that one. Don't know what he's always scowling about. Never mind. People would have been pretty good boss. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes. She'd rather be the Reaper's second apprentice than a detective's trainee. That way I see it. The choice between Guardian Guzzling and Chip Guzzling Detective and Chalice Glugging Demigod are equally bad off with both. Suppose you're right. Suppose I hadn't thought of it like that. Glad we put that one on hold. Anyway, the point is everyone at the yard's dead set on finding the fishy engineer, but there don't seem to be no clues to go on, so they're stuck. Nothing that can lead us to Dr. Drebber at all. Toby the dog. Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina? Oi, don't be so flaming rude. Oh no. Slight overreaction, don't you think? He ain't no mutt, alright. Toby's, how did they say put it? Oh yeah, a bona fide detective. Sorry? I've given him a proper name like everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby, do you? No senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Is there a Toby in the Great Detective series? In Sherlock Holmes's world? Oh, so he's a police dog, is he? The police recruit dogs now? I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as parts of the city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell after all. I have a fairly good sense of smell myself as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't. I don't believe so, but Sherlock and our Dr. Watson did have a British bulldog. Can't remember his name though. While I am remembering, there was a Toby in The Great Mouse Detective. So maybe that's what they're referencing. I hugely doubt it, but it would be cool. That's nothing compared to this little fellow, Odo. Oh, really? According to what the boss said, once Toby Ears got a good whiff of your jars, he could chase that scent to the other side of the world. Eh? What? To the other side of the world? You mean he can swim? Mr. Naruhodo, I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin. I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill. I'm telling you, Odo, there's gotta be more dogs doing their bit of policing in the future. Yes, I agree. Right? One of these days they'll be barking orders at us a lot, not the other way around. Oh dear, sorry Gina. I don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby Ear is Britain's first police dog. I found him in the East End the other day. Someone just had chucked him out on the street. There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere. Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals. I gotta watch The Great Mouse Detective again. And I could. I have it right here. With me. You gotta enter this way, right? The stairs lead up to the experimental stage. Let's go and see what we can find out. Puppy, puppy, puppy! Puppies! Love puppies. Ding! Oh my, so this is the machine that was used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. Yes, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine, but a little worse for wear at the moment. What extraordinary lengths Professor Harebrain went to in order to obtain the research grant. No, the professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about it. Yes, of course. It's amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of the whole affair is so very British. You're right about that. You'd never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure. Oh, look, is that... Oh, snap. Lord Van Zeeks? So I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Susato? Already? He is the Reaper, remember? We do well to keep our distance, I think. We have the permission to be here, from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything. From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart? Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage for as long as we like. She could have been at the center of the explosion here, and it wouldn't have bent her steel will. Alright. Let's examine things. What a terrible explosion it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast. And what they call a birdcage was right in the middle of it all, just here. But look, Mr. Naruhodo, the metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designated to open. It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from the site, or from sight. I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Tricky, tricky. This wasn't here yesterday. Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air. That's right, the birdcage. According to what Professor Harebrain said in court, it's made of wood. Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion, then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. What wonderful durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo? I understand that the forensics investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. Suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished their work. But sadly, not with this body inside it. No, that's right. I know we were given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still, this is too important a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. Cool. And can we examine it? Yes, we can. Ah, look here, Mr. Sato. Oh, yes, the wood's cracked and broken a little. Suppose because it fell from such a height? Yes, from the height in which the balloon was flying, down into the crystal tower below. A fall of about 30 feet, or 9 meters, leaving the man inside tragically dead. Poor thing. It didn't deserve that. I'm not seeing anything else, so... yeah. Okay. Look at the horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing? That's exactly what I thought when I first saw it. Makes you think, doesn't it? If only it had just been a normal horn, none of this would have happened. That's almost exactly what I thought of as well. But I can predict what you're going to say next in that case. You're about to say, nothing ever goes to plan, aren't you? Oh no, I would never say something like that. Then what would you say? However much I look at them, I just can't come to terms with those Temari handballs floating in the sky. You've been glaring at them constantly since we came up here. Sorry, this feeling of wanting to ride in one and wanting never to set foot in one are fighting it out inside me. But if you don't look where you're walking, you might fall from the stage. I don't think I'd notice. That's how fiercely the battle inside me is raging. I think you should make peace with riding in one, Mr. Naruhodo. It really would be much safer that way. Yeah. Is that a tower in the sky here? Is there a castle in the sky right here? Bro. Hey, you. Least approachable man in the world winner, 10 years in a row. Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo. Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you. Lord Van Zeeks. What? Well... beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them. So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well, the thing is... Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything. And yet you've managed to disturb me. Ah! Never mind. State your business, then. Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zeeks about. Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this. Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try. So, Clint was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zeeks. You Nipponese, I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you? Oh, no, it's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zeeks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us. The professor, you mean? Hehehe. Is something funny? That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised. Sorry? There's more to it then? Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it? You're too kind. Aren't you going to tar all Nipponese with the same brush next? So tell me, what is your interest in the historic incident? As it happened, Lord Van Zeeks, there's a rather curious case that's come to our attention. Excuse me, my goodness. Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance? I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I feature in one of the displays there, for public scorn. Of course the infamous Reaper of the Barley would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he? Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom. A particular waxwork? Which... Wait, you mean... Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak. I was unaware of that. He's turned as white as a sheet. Enoch Drebber. Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already? Surely that goes without saying. We're very keen to see him found as well. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier. Which, according to Professor Harebrain, was a tall, thin gentleman who has straight white hair and wears a black monocle. So, I was just wondering. I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but we'd very much appreciate it. Any more clues you can give us? Wow, Susato-san really knows how to take the bull by the horns. I feel like you missed something. Who's the professor here? Oh, he appeared, or he was a person in the wax museum, or he was a wax figure in the wax museum. He was stolen from the special section. If you remember in the last stream, there was an arm that was on the ground behind a curtain thingy. Behind that was the special exhibit. Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Oh boy. Though it appears he's already had the black monocle at the time. Yep, he was mentioned when you left. Give me another drink, guys. Ah. Good stuff. What? Oh, no, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared that with us. We all need the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we possibly can to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph? What is it about Lord Van Zieks? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Think this professor's the murderer? Not the professor, the other person. Hey, it's this guy. Are you the professor person? Or the person we're trying to meet? Grubber or Dweber or Dwebble? The files I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you. Are you alright? Who is this man, Mr. Naruhodo? Lord Van Zieks' apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one. Susato-san can see it too. Lord Van Zieks, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment? With him? Why? Kazuma-sama! Kazuma-sama? Oh, don't tell me that's Kazuma. Dweebel? Eh? Kazuma. I should have said Kazuma? I don't believe it. Your posture, your presence, it can only be... It's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama? I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma? What, wait! Too late. No, run after him. What's going on here? Yeah, that's what I want to know. What's going on here? What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you knew the man or something. Well, since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself.
He has amnesia?
Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side.
What?
He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders.
He'll be in court with us?
Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Too late. My legs suddenly don't work. Yep. Can't move from this spot. From this screen.
I definitely saw a reaction there. When Susato-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama.
What a twist!
You'd already met the masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zeek's office.
I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. You're going to have to leave now. The forensics investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems.
What sort of problems?
Foreign affairs problems.
We could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Miss Susato. Of course. Must stand here and stare at the broken thing forever!
Yep. Forevers. Oh, Gina. Let me tell you, that stuff up there was crazy.
Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, alright, if it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
I'm gonna be playing with me new friend here.
Ah, yes, Toby. Woof! Apparently we can't look around on the stage now because forensic investigations team are at work. Can you do anything, Gina, in your capacity as Inspector Lestrade?
Look, I like to help you out. But I'm just a trainee, ain't I? Ain't nothing I can do.
When it suits you, yes. Well, guys, if that is Kazuma, that means the poor girl from Case 2 is not a murder person. She's completely innocent. Here's the scorching on the ground you mentioned. Yep, and there's what's left of the green balloon's envelope. All clear evidence of the balloon that exploded on the day of the incident. Poor Professor Hairbrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this.
Someone's well and truly burst his bubble, as it were.
Ouch. I'm a bad person. Ouch. What about up here? What a shame that symbolic landmark of the Great Exhibition had been damaged like that. Yes, unfortunately the birdcage crashed in about the most prominent position possible. And it's a God's giving us a warning if you ask me. And must travel under his own stem, not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis. But imagine what might have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location. That death toll could have been far worse. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise. Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. I must travel under his own stem, or next time birdcages will rain down on all of you. Your faith is much stronger than I realized. Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam for Yume University? Wasn't by studying alone. Ah. Alright. Guess that's it here. To Madame Tuspel's. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors.
I like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery.
Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that.
I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere.
That's strange. He should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. Oh well, suppose we can just have to come back again later. Unless he is here. Okay, maybe not. Whoops. To the library. To the forensics place, rather. Oh my gosh, look at this place, guys. I believe this is it, Dr. Sith's laboratory. The chemical smell really assaults the nose, and there's plenty to assault the eyes in here too.
It looks as though the doctor isn't here, but we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think?
What's a seasoned tourist you become, Mr. Sato? We could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any restless souls. Okay. I can't look around, so let's examine things, I guess. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labeled highly toxic. That's worrying, because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there.
Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them.
The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals here sometimes. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. Sheesh. I don't think I like this room. A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing?
It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tomb that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air?
You either have to be a cast iron constitution, or a really terrible sense of smell. Maybe that's what our friend here has. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. Suppose they're fruit liquors or something, or like the pickled umeboshi plums we make back home.
Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. Expect they're human organs in a preserving solution. Probably an example of some rare medical condition.
Miss Susato, there are some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to say it, never to know about, ever.
Oh!
So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors or umeboshi, aren't they?
Of course.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Big desk. Suppose this is Dr. Sith's desk.
Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this.
It's very tidy though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work.
The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves.
Yeah, it's in a glass cage thing.
Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I can just about cope with one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all.
Anything else?
The book. Look at this big, thick book here.
It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensics investigation team's spending, I think.
Oh? What is it?
It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way?
They're buying 500 scalpels every month.
500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses.
I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances, and scalpel blades can be sharpened too.
It does seem a bit strange. You're right. 500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly be using all of them for? Yeah, bro. What are you doing?
Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so... So, you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the East, isn't it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body. Or Mr. Asmon's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings, on Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately.
Okay. Gladly.
So, you want to know what the forensics investigation team determined from its examination of the scene?
Give me a second, guys. Okay.
Examination? The victim, Mr. Odie Asmon, who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asmon who appeared moments later, partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, then they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly in this instant, that was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. The fingerprints at the scene make that quite evident. Fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensics evidence in the British justice system, but one day they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place.
Disappeared because cats.
It's fine.
You didn't miss too much. I'm in this room now. We're investigating the thing.
We're talking with this lady. My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Mystery?
Oh,
Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Mama. This is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello. To meet you, but pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Ryunosuke no... Mama? Yes. Can I cut this one up? What? I've never seen inside an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like. Of course you can. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see. Boring. Should we be concerned, guys, with this person? I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. Let's leave before I'm mistaken for one.
yeah.
I don't know about her. So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office. Are there such impertinent Easterners around? How terrible. Yes, you. She doesn't mince her words, Mr. Sato. I think perhaps it's time we left.
Well, alright.
Well, we've been everywhere.
We will go back to other places. Sith is a great name.
How do you say that name?
Sith?
Scythe? Sitha? Sithy? Alright, not here.
Scythe. That's what you've been thinking anyway.
Scythe. I might need your help again, Captain Chips. It seems the plot is not appearing to me right now. Let's go back.
Maybe Sholmes's place.
Plot at Sholmes's house?
What am I missing, guys? What am I missing now? No, not you. Not what to do. The only thing I can think of is presenting things to people. No, not move. Present. Gina, would you take a look at... Oh, where did it go? Hehe, looking for this, Odo? When did she do that? Wonder if you got anything else to show me, eh? What'd you reckon? Give that back first, please. Want a hint? I want the answer. I don't know where the flip to go. I need the answer. There's no, like, hints or things. I just need to know where to go next. Madam, 2 spells if you haven't been already. Yeah, I've been there already. Was anyone supposed to be there? Gina, have a look at the photograph. But yeah, I did go there. Am I supposed to examine something there? It's amazing looking down on everything from up there. I love high places, me. Really? If I'm honest, I can't stand looking down at the ground when I'm high up. I always have to look up. Drebber's workshop? I was just there. That was literally the place I just was. Unless that wasn't the workshop for some reason. Shame, I wanted to show you what it's like, but there ain't no point now. Why not? If all you're gonna do is look up at the sky, I ain't gonna be able to look down on ya. With ya. Sorry. I mean, I don't look down on ya or nothing. If you don't want to do it, it's your choice. Didn't think I'd ever go up in a balloon, to be honest. Not in my whole life. But now... I'm starting to think I might like to. Check the special exhibit? I did not. Forensics library. So no, there's not a Dweber's workshop plot yet. Examine. Ah yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you? The sign says it's the Madame Tuspel special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside. I know, can you believe that? Pay more money as if we haven't been scared enough already. Examine the ladder. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. Right, you said. Ah, there's a stepladder there. Look. Oh, yes, a stepladder. I think perhaps we should let the proprietress know that someone's left it out. The stepladder, I mean. Is something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? Well, that's not it. That's not the answer there, is it? Unless he meant left, but there's no letter here. Very silly. But where's the plot, though? Plot is missing right now. Guess I can examine or do more things. Gina, would you look at... Oh, where'd it go? Did I do the birdcage? Oh yeah, I did. Just making sure. Oh, it's the balloon that I did. Is Herlock in there anywhere? In where? There's many, many places where Herlock could be. Which there is there. Nope. The freaking Tuspel's where you told you to be? Well, I don't know. I looked, I didn't see him. I'll look again. Let me just present evidence to every single person. There were a bunch of reporters at the trial today, eh? One of them got a sketch of me in the witness stand. Oh, really? Yeah, I look pretty good, right? And that testimony of mine was spot on. Not sure that spot on is quite the right description. And look, it was in the special edition and all. I bought a copy.
Oh, that's a lovely picture of you, Gina. But I thought you couldn't read. What do you take me for? I'm cramming every day. Ah, I see. I started at A and I've already got all the way to E. It could be a long journey for you. Poor Gina. This armband is proof, in Japan at least, that I'm a defense lawyer. And this badge is proof that I'm a detective. So you're all gonna have to start calling me Inspector Lestrade. In that case, you'll have to start calling me, well, anything but Odo. I could call you Defender Nara Odo if you like, but it don't really trip off the tongue. No, it doesn't have a great ring to it, does it? Well, that's everything. Converse. Nope, nothing new here. To answer your question on where Herlock is, the answer is nope on here, nope, and nope. We have 3 nopes. So, yep, no him anywhere. We can present stuff to him, I guess. Professor Hairbrain, what do you make of this? Oh, yes, that's just where we need to prove my hypothesis, isn't it? No, it's nothing to do with your hypothesis, actually. Then take it away. I don't want to be bothered with anything that doesn't, assist my science. Alright, keep your abundant hair on. Uh-huh. What is it? What's the uh-huh?
You went slightly out of order.
You found it? Give you a sec? Alrighty. Of course I went out of order. Of course I did. Examine the back of Dweber's card. How would anyone know to do that? That's kind of lame, game. Come on. This dark smudge here, I think perhaps it's machine oil. Ah, yes, possibly. Professor Hairbrain mentioned something about the oil Mr. Dweber uses, didn't he? He said it was specially imported via high-quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain. Yes, that's right, but more importantly, that it's of more fragment than the finest perfume, so excuse me a moment. Oh, doesn't appear to have any scent at all. Don't worry, I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount on there.
People regularly examine every inch of every evidence. They get silly.
Well, why? How would they even know that this is examinable evidence in the first place? It's just not how my brain works. Okay, now what do? I examined it, but that didn't really do nothing. Professor, do you recognize this? Oh, it's Andrew, my faithful friend. How have you been? Are you alright? Nobody's mistreated you, have they? Don't worry, he's being very well looked after. I always rub him with machine oil until he's gleaming. Right. And then, when I come to tighten a screw with him, he slips my hand, and I can't do it. It's that age-old problem faced by driver files the world over, isn't it? I really wouldn't know, I'm afraid.
Present the card to Gina. Toby the dog can sniff out.
Oh my gosh. How would anyone know this? Ah, thank you. This game is a lot of me being lost on these things. Not just this game, but the last game as well. About this, Gina. Yeah, I'm still learning me letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so if it ain't too much bleeding trouble. Ah, actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important. Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all. It turns out that this is very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently. You don't say. Let's have a whiff, then.
It's because Toby's a police dog.
Yeah, but how can people remember, that stuff? How do normal humans do it, rather? You sure? I don't smell nothing. No, it didn't mean that you should smell it. Oh, right. You mean Toby. Woof! His sense of smell is so good he can check people over the oceans, can he? Professor Hairbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop. Sniff, sniff, sniff. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I think he's picked up a scent. So you mean if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby could lead us to the Dodgy Co's workshop? That's right. That's exactly what we were hoping. Alright, then we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that. What? Wait, when did you... What's a pickpocket? If I can lead everyone to that Drebber's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh, yes, Gina. I'm sure you'll be promoted. Poor Gregson.
Head up the stairs.
Yeah, I already headed up the stairs.
Right, Odo.
Leave it to me. Sorry? We're going to get going up to that dodgy engineering cove right this minute. Oh, but hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time. I'm afraid we can't help. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina. Oh, right. Oh, well, never mind. Ain't gonna be me what gets it in the neck. It'll be the boss. Poor Gregson. Again. Ready, Toby? Get that oil scent, have you? Come on then, boy. See you later. I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to that swindler's workshop. Guess I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. We could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down. Now then, do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? I have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. We ought to find him at Madame Tuspel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture.
Okay, now finally we go to the place. Finally, guys. Jeez.
Here we are again, at the House of Horrors. I'm afraid I haven't got used to this place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery, of course. Sato-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Eek! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruhodo, look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before.
Nope.
It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Even his weird costume. Aha. What is it? Oh, sorry. I think you'll find... That's the temporary waxwork himself. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Oh, yes. Hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say, I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes really can engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes. His habitual duties? Alors, do not disturb, huh? Poor Susato-san. She looks very perplexed.
Okay.
Let's examine him. We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he? I don't know. I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually. Oh! What? What do you... Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I. The world-famous great detective in waxwork, Herlock Sholmes. Susato-san! Susato-san!
The end. Dancing statue.
Dancing statues.
Yes. My most humble apologies. I thought I'd died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment via London. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free dedication at some point, as long as it's not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand, though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easily as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter.
Rumble, rumble, rumble.
That stomach rumble echoed around a whole museum. So how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Oh yes, it's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. It'll never succeed. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no? Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tussbells at all costs. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with the great waxwork? With this great waxwork?
Yes. Converse.
We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh. Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer? Quite the modern man. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning, but we have so few clues to go on. That's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance at least, I'd be in a better position to help. Yes, Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it.
Okay. Kazuma's death.
Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing gear. What is this about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this current murder. You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed, and wherein lies the problem?
We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Asogi.
You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he
wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewmate present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say.
Now what?
Hey, Blue Thunder. Welcome to the stream. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? It's of Mr. Enoch Drebler, the face of the engineer we seek.
Have you been though today, Blue Thunder?
I'm well, surviving as goodly as I can. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course, so looking at this photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. Will you indulge me? Oh, well, what is it? As I explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned.
You're doing okay playing Final Fantasy X and just chilling. How's it been? Have you enjoyed it so far?
I like Final Fantasy X, and I personally reinstalled it in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Oh yes, the Professor exhibit, isn't it? Would you like to see it? For a mere 5 shillings. That's a special, one-time only price, you understand? What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor? Oh, well, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone? The price is a very reasonable 5 shillings. I think you'll find it's well worth it.
Yeah, how was your game?
Pretty good. I'm getting lost a lot, but it's pretty good still. The mystery is still big. Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you need only look at my expression to ascertain if the seriousness or silliness. I can never tell with you, that's the point. Very well, it couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings. Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to peruse it at your leisure. Oh boy. Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit. Here we go. Through those heavy curtains at last. Examine. 5 shillings we've had to pay. Doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it? No. Ah, we could ask Gina to retrieve it for us using her special skills. Pickpocketing police officers and diddling detectives is what makes Britain great. Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands or chip-loving inspectors. Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, think. Yes, in we go. Oh boy. Yeah, looks great. Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here. Miss Sato, I say we turn our heels and go straight home via a really big confectionery. We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already. True. Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. We've paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of the great diddling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place. This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said the case was largely solved. Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied there'd be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do 5 shillings worth of investigation, shall we? Yes, we will get what we paid for. Is that fear of frustration that's making Susato-san's voice tremble? Well, here's the obvious thing. The head is missing. This must be the killer, the fiend known as the Professor. Yes, I think so. According to what Madame Tuspel said, he killed 5 victims, all of noble or royal blood. The waxwork is so lifelike, isn't it? Like all the models in this place? I know, it looks like it could start moving at any moment, doesn't it? If only he had a head, that is. Perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. So this is the condemned man. Yes, the so-called professor. Then perhaps his head was chopped off by a guillotine? Yes, but unable to find peace, he emerged from his grave as a headless ghost. Examine the shovel. Okay. Do we have to entertain such terrifying ideas, Miss Susato? Anyway, I'm sure the model had a head once. There was a metal fitting for it, see? Then, perhaps Mr. Sholmes absent-mindedly forgot to reattach it? That's an extremely absent-minded detective you're describing, isn't it? Or perhaps the thief absent-mindedly forgot to include the head when he or she returned to the museum? That would be an extremely absent-minded thief. Could there have been some reason why only the head wasn't returned? Well, whatever the reason, it means we don't know what the face of the infamous professor looked like, do we? Oh! There's something caught just inside the convict's jacket here. It looks like a piece of broken glass, and quite the big piece, too. It's very thick, isn't it? About 5 times thicker than normal window glazing, I'd say. Where could such a thick piece of glass have come from, I wonder? Suppose it must have been made thick to increase its strength? But why? Well, perhaps because the glass had to span a particularly wide area, such as the big building, for example. Ah, well, we've seen a large glass building recently, haven't we? Some of the glass was broken, too. You don't mean... Exactly. The Crystal Tower at the Great Exhibition. Hey, Kenny Lee, you was here. You kept the head. Kenny Lee, come on, we need that head. It makes you think, doesn't it? Good to see you, though, Kenny Lee. Oh, gotta remember to check the evidence every single time now. This piece of glass is almost as thick as it is wide. Yes, I've never seen anything like it. If we were to compare it to a human, only Mr. Sholmes had such thick skin. There really is no need for such a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, as you well know. Anyway, it can only be from the Crystal Tower, surely. Yes, I think so too. It was probably made especially to meet the demands of the great structure. Okay. Now we discover that this fragment of glass here in this waxwork, is it just a coincidence? Coincidence? I think not. Alright, Cheval. This part of the exhibit is just as disturbing as the rest. It looks so real. It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat, and he has a large shovel in his hand too. Look! Perhaps we should investigate it in a little more detail. Okay. Cheval. What a large shovel! He's holding it rather ominously, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in a graveyard, in the middle of the night? Miss Susato? Yes? That's a spade, isn't it? No, it's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade. Went through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It's a shovel. No. Although, we haven't considered trowels. We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on what the man was doing with the implement. So we're going to bury the hatchet. You're right, though. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question. That's the real question here. Alright. What's this here? Oh, I can't pause? What would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera. A camera? But it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints? I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man in the graveyard at the night... why would the man be in a graveyard at night with a camera? I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film. We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think. By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, we can see what picture was taken. What's a photograph plate? It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in through the lens. We open the cover at the back of the camera, we should find it. Let's have a look. You should see yourself, Susato-sen. Your eyes are shining. You really do like machinery, don't you? That's nice. But, I think we're gonna save the game here, guys. So, thank you for watching. More of this case in 2 days. And more of this game tomorrow. So, look forward to it. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye. Be awesome. And I'll see ya all tomorrow. Bye-bye.